What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on, everybody? How the hell is everybody, man? Oh my god, it feels so good to be back. Episode 32 of Shut Up, Let's Talk. Joined along here with Jenny O, the ever so fabulous. What up? How's it going, miss? 30. You were muted, Miss Jenny. Hold up. Where you at? Where you at? I don't hear you, dog.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sorry.
We're back, folks. We're back. We're in. How you doing today, folks? How's it rolling today, man? It has been a minute. How's everybody been over the last month? I know it's been quite some time, but it feels good to be back, guys.
There's been hurricanes. There's been natural disasters that's preoccupying life.
Yeah, man. You know what? And can we just give a quick shout out to the people in Puerto Rico right now going through their second hurricane in like 2 weeks right now? That's pretty crazy right now. So, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So shout out to all those guys, you know. Hopefully everybody will pull through just all right. The Keys over here in Florida did not do so well. Kind of got wrecked. And we were lucky on my side not to get such crazy damage. I was out of power for like 4 or 5 days. Some people still don't have power. Some people got their power back a couple hours ago.
There is some juju over Miami that somehow spared it from disaster many times.
Yeah, something crazy is going on, but you know.
Thumbs up.
Shout out to Mary Cruz. Shout out to T Brad. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us on the show so far. How's the audio sounding? Just if everybody could let us know how we sound and look or whatever, I would definitely appreciate that. Want to make sure it's all gravy on the biscuit for episode 32 of Shut Up, Let's Talk. Guys, today, what are we going to talk about? Jenny, do you remember 10 years ago, we were all in high school? I think it was about it was about ninth grade, I believe, for me. And this new thing was coming out. All right, everybody said it's like the upgrade. Everybody was on their Motorola Razrs. And they said this new phone was going to come out where it was going to be a touch screen where you were like, you mean like a Palm Pilot? Everybody said it's like the upgrade. Everybody was on their
Palm Pilot.
You remember the Palm Pilot?
I feel like it kind of just sprung on me. Honestly, the iPhone, I feel like it kind of just happened.
Right?
I can't remember or pinpoint the first time I held an iPhone or that I had seen it. I just feel at the rate that it's going, I just feel like it's like just like this thing that always was and always will be. This thing that's always existed. Like, I don't know. It's weird for me.
I mean, I remember I had a friend with the Palm Pilot, okay? And for anybody that doesn't remember what those things are, they're basically like it was kind of looked like a BlackBerry, right? It looked
A little hand computer.
It was a little handheld, but it was mostly for emails. You know, you could browse the web very basically, kind of like the first PSP kind of thing. You know, it was like a very basic online browsing. But YouTube wasn't even around yet, or it was just starting.
Thing. There wasn't any social media or anything at that time, but it essentially was. It didn't play music, but essentially it was the premise for an iPhone.
Yeah, it totally was, and they were cool. They were cool. Just nobody had them because they were expensive, and you know, your dad had some money, or your mom.
Only bougie New Yorkers walking around all Carrie Bradshaw had those kind of things, you know.
Yeah, I had a friend who got one for his bar mitzvah. I was like, "What are you gonna do with this thing?" You're 12. I was like, "You're 12 years old. You're 12 years old." He was 13 at the time. But you know, anyway. So the iPhone. Fast forward to 2006, I believe, right? 2006, 7, whatever. We have this new phone coming out. It's got a button, just one button in the middle on the bottom that you're going to press, and you're going to touch everything else. It's going to be a touch screen keyboard, which before we just had, like, we had the Sidekick, right? We had the T-Mobile Sidekick. And those things...
Annoying AF, I skipped that phase. I never had that.
I thought they were cool, man. When people took out the Sidekicks and they flipped them out, right? And
chunky, heavy, liability. 3 words.
they made it, you know what? Those things, they did kind of look like those Power Ranger morphers, right? They kind of look like these things. They were like, it's morphin' time!
Unnecessary. They were huge.
Yeah, they were
very
kind of
heavy.
crazy. But you know what? So that was the first iPhone came out, all right? Rocked the world. Other phones, Samsung had a phone called the Instinct, which was trying to compete with it. I don't know if anybody remembers that. The Samsung Instinct. It was just like an iPhone, except it was extremely slow. Good Lord, it was slow and clunky, and the touch feature was not that great. Anyway, what was your first smartphone, Jenny? Which we call them now smartphones, yes.
For me, I'm sorry. For me, a smartphone is a phone with no buttons. That's what I deem. So it was like this super tiny little Metro PCS one. I fucking loved that phone, dude.
Yes.
It was this small little white phone, touch screen. I could do what I needed to do. I had my little apps, and I got to look at my apps, and it was just this one little touch screen. To me, that was my first smartphone, and that shit was like $100.
Nice.
But I don't know. But you and I had this conversation about this phone thing, so I think I'm a little biased when it comes to this.
No, but you because you became influenced. Yeah, you got influenced. But
I've been forced iPhone down my goddamn throat.
But you're like in the middle, though. You're like in the middle. Like, you don't really care about them, though. You know what I mean? That's the thing. I don't
care about phones at all.
Yeah, you're not head over heels for a smartphone, or an iPhone.
Not even head over heels. It's like completely disinterested.
That is kind of what it is, yeah. But at the same time, it's like sometimes I think about my first smartphone. It was actually a gift to me. It was an HTC Hero, is what it was, and it was a pretty great phone. It had a track ball in the middle, and it was a pretty great phone. I'm not gonna lie. The camera quality was great. I was taking it was the first time I ever felt like, damn, I just have a camera in my pocket. Like, this is kind of crazy. And then it started becoming integrated into Facebook, and this was past MySpace, so we weren't using that. I would love to be. Can you imagine MySpace if it had like a mobile platform? What if that's how MySpace is gonna make its comeback on the mobile market?
MySpace tried to get its comeback via
with Justin
music.
Timberlake, yeah.
With music, they tried to make their whole thing about music because once they started adding profile songs to your profile,
love that.
Get on. And then you got to have little playlists.
The playlist.
Forget about it. That shit.
Picking different songs from different pages.
That's when they hit their pinnacle. Mind you, we were all little baby HTML coders, and we had no idea.
Copy paste.
I used to pimp out people's MySpace pages for a living. Like, people would be like, I heard you could do this and this and this. Marquee baby. I'm gonna make your shit scroll, cuz. You think I'm stupid? Backslash.
I'm gonna hide your top 8 so nobody you don't have to choose. People were hiding their top 8s. Remember that? Remember top 40s?
The hierarchy of the top 8.
The top 8, wow.
You just pissed off this person. You used to be number 2. Now you're rocking number 8 because what did you do?
You remember having to explain moving somebody? You're like, listen, bro, it's just for show right now. I know you were number 3 on the top 8, but right now I got to bump you to number 4. I'm talking to this girl right now. I got to make her number 3.
That opened the door for all this other social media petty shit. That was like the beginning of the petty shit. That was like the birth of said petty shit on the social media game.
Yes, it was. It totally was. Yeah. No, you're completely right, though. It's not a lie. Because at the end of the day, I mean, that's kind of what made everybody...
That's where we got that petty ball rolling, baby.
So, yeah, exactly. So fast forward over to the iPhone, okay? We get the first iPhone that comes out. This thing is kicking everything's ass. It's expensive. It's fucking expensive. When the phone came out, do you remember the price tag on that thing? I think it was about $600 when it came out. I believe, because my brother had 2 of them. He bought one for him and his girl. And I had a friend... Oh, man, you know what? I'm going to bump into... I had a friend that actually got frauded online over an iPhone sale, okay? And this guy, upon reflection, he's on my friends list. If you're watching, you're a fucking idiot, and I hope you know that. But, he's a jerk. Fuck him. But the thing about him, he was trying to find an iPhone on Craigslist, okay? And then he ended up bumping into it. He bumped into like a good deal on one, right? The guy said, "Okay, that's great. Just send me the money, and I'm overseas right now. Just send me the money, and then I'll go ahead and ship them to you." He was like, "All right, perfect." He got 2 iPhones. Sent this guy $1,200, and got no iPhone in the mail. And yeah,
that is the single. Like, what is is your friend like 80? Is your friend 80? Because usually those older folks are the ones that get swindled.
Yeah, like some Nigerian scheme or whatever, right? That's what they always. And it was a Nigerian scheme. The guy was from Nigeria, ironically. So that's why I said that. We're not judging. It's just a good coincidence. But
I feel terrible. I feel terrible for that. Anywho, let's go back to this stupid ass phone because the
iPhone. Fast forward now, 10 years later. Here's the thing. You know what? Can we all just give a quick shout out to the number 9 for getting skipped? Because the iPhone 8 came out, and now they're just skipping right over it to iPhone
and then
X.
7, 8, 9. Somebody made that dumbass joke.
I was thinking about it, yeah. I was thinking about it earlier, but I was like, I'm not going to do that tonight on the show. Not after a month. We're just going to give these people a 7, 8, 9 joke. But but you know what? It's the new iPhone's coming out. Here's the thing. We're calling it the iPhone X because we see the letter X, right? They're saying it is the iPhone 10.
That's the Roman numeral 10.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody that I call it an X. via typing it. But I just know I'm saying 10 because I'm just not going to write out the word 10, nor am I going to put the number 10 because it's tacky.
There you go. And if you grew up in the '90s like us, you know the letter X meant a lot for a title. You add the letter X to something, it's automatically bad.
I'm more bougie about the Roman numeral, not necessarily the Apple phone. Fuck the phone. I'm just saying you respect the X for its Roman numeralness.
You respect the Romans, all right? When in Rome, say X. Or say 10, rather. But
10, goddamn.
Respect the Romans. Anyway, so the new iPhone, all right, does anybody in the chat down here, I'm sorry, I haven't even looked at the chat, guys. Thank you, Vittoria. Thank you, Jenny. Well, I just saw Jenny's name. I said Jenny, but she's right here. Brad says audio is beautiful. So thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad to hear that because that is usually always the big issue on this show, isn't it? Jenny, you know what? The new iPhone, what is all the features, right? There's a meme going around. I wish we could bring it up, but whatever. There's a meme going around. All the features on this phone is basically a Galaxy S6, right?
There are actually multiple Android devices that had there's I think it's the Nexus. There was this phone that had all of these things, you know, a full frontal glass screen, face recognition.
Everybody loves full frontal.
This, this phone, so none of the technology on an iPhone X
is new per se.
You got me. An iPhone 10. None of the technology in an iPhone 10 is new. None of it. Absolutely none of it. It's obviously technology that's encased in a package that you like and that you buy and that you sell and like that you stick to, you know, that's your brand.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. I really don't think that Apple users care about how the actual phone runs or how it performs, or people just like to complain about it. Oh, my shit dies really fast. Oh, my shit ain't got no storage. Oh shit, like blah blah blah. It's not really. iPhone users don't go to iPhone for functionality. They go
there for the comfort.
They go there for bourgeois. It's very bougie and it's very what they're used to. Mind you, I have an iPhone, so I feel dumb as fuck for saying it, but just know they were gifts. My phones have always been gifts.
You didn't buy it, yeah.
I have never spent $1 on phone. I have never spent $1 on a phone. I swear to Jesus, and it is what it is. So like when people are always like watching the new phones come out and all these like new gadgets and stuff, nah.
Alex Cruz in the chat says Animojis is new.
Animoji. Oh, emojis that can move or something? That's all I'm putting together between these two words conjoined into one. Animojis.
See, I'm guessing you're smarter than me. You're smarter than me because I was thinking animal emojis, which I was like, they have the dog and cat.
No, animorph.
Animation, yeah. Animorph, yeah.
I guess this is a thing. Everybody that's watching, I'm sorry. I'm gonna say what's up. I have not seen no release for this phone. I just kind of know the technology that it's spewing out, but I don't give a fuck, bro. These phones are stupid as fuck. If you're gonna spend $1,000 on a phone, it's because you can. It's because you can, and you have to live by Jay-Z's philosophy, which is if you cannot buy something twice, you cannot afford it. If you can't drop double what it's worth on the spot, you can't afford it. Because most people that have iPhones are on these ridiculous payment plans where they're paying an absurd amount of money to pay for this $1,000 phone. When with these $1,000, you can do so much more awesome things with your life and your time. You know, just get the basic. Now you know that the 5 and the 6 that run just as well. Their cameras are just as nice. I mean, the 7's camera is chopping it up. But
it's killing. Go ahead.
I would never invest in that shit.
You know, I will say, let's do a little thing right now. Let's set up a little line in the middle, and then we're gonna have iPhone on one side, we're gonna have Android on the other side, and let's do a little comparison really quick. I think, my opinion, when I think I only had an iPhone 3 for about a month because somebody gave it to me while I was out of town. I was with my family. I was with family, and they were like, "Here, just hold on to this for a bit." Anyway, iPhone 3. And then I've used some of the other iPhones that friends have. One thing that I like about the iPhones, they always feel snappy. They feel like they never slow down for me. I don't know. Like every time I use one, it's always snappy. Every time I switch screens, boom, boom, boom.
You respect your space. If you respect the space in your iPhone, you're gonna have a fully functioning iPhone.
Oh, really? That's how it goes.
Yeah. Don't abuse its space because things start to engrave themselves in, and it makes your phone run slow. Every time there's an update, it just kind of makes the older phones run a little slower.
Yeah.
It is what it is, but I don't mind, bro. What the fuck is the hurry? I am not in a rush. Like, I really don't care. Like,
all right. So camera quality, I will say camera quality is far superior because, I mean, I think an iPhone camera, I don't know, man. I've seen some people take pictures on an iPhone that I'm really just kind of like, damn, what camera did you use? And they're like, taken on an iPhone, hashtag taken on an iPhone. And I'm like, oh, the camera looks good. Yeah, I'm like, the camera looks good. Damn it. So if I ever got it, here's one thing I'll say. And for anybody that has done video work or knows video work or even plays video games, the new iPhone, the iPhone X, the iPhone 10 is going to record at 200. Is going to be able to record at 240 frames per second. That's fucking dope. Because regular video games, most video games are run at 30 frames per second. And then a decent quality camera, it should be at least 60, and actually no, a low level camera should be 60, and that's how you see speed. For anybody that doesn't know what frames per second means, think about it. It means kind of like 60 pictures every 1 second. So that means 30 frames means 30. 240 means 240 pictures are being produced every second, meaning much smoother animations, meaning HD. Blah blah blah. So it's going to look real good, and it's going to be able to record in 4K also. So that's going to be, I think, 4K at 120, and then 240.
Are you trying to sell this phone? Is this what we're getting at?
I'm trying to sell the camera because we're on the camber the camera portion of it. The camera is sick on this phone.
That is the only thing that ever attracts me about a phone.
Same here.
To tell you the truth.
Same here.
The quality of said camera, that to me is always going to sell me.
Oh, Alex Cruz in the chat says he ordered the iPhone 8 Plus, but he's waiting for the Google Pixel 2. That one should be really cool. And I know Brad has a Pixel, right?
Brad? I believe so. Yeah.
He loves that phone, he told me. So, Brad...
it's super nice. The camera's off the fucking chain.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to sound stupid, but the Pixel's by Google, isn't it? They made that phone?
It is, but it's technically in the realm, like anything that's not Apple is constituted as Android. So
there you go. True. Exactly.
That's just the realm of what it is.
What's going on? Abel Cervantes, thank you for joining the chat, dude. Anybody that is on, check out Abel's music. He's an amazing guitar player. Kills it, shreds it. Oh my god.
Oh, Abel.
Yeah, Abel fucking killing it. T Brad says, bro, I have 2 Android devices running 240. No way. Shut up. What? Which ones? And T Brad says, yes, he has the Pixel, and it is by Google. Oh, but it's made by HTC. I was about to say THC.
It's really.
Oh man. Yeah, but it's made by HTC. A lot of people complain about HTC. I like their phones. Is it because I started on an HTC phone? I don't know, but I think they're pretty cool.
You could be biased. You could be low-key biased as fuck. But I don't know. To me, it's not more about functionality. I'm at this point where I'm like, I feel addicted. Pull away, right? I feel addicted to my phone. I feel like my phone is somewhere I want to be too often, like especially if you're dropping all this guap on it. It's because you spend a lot of time on it.
This is an intervention right here.
Is it an intervention, low-key? I don't know.
But it's a good thing. It's a good thing, though.
I don't know. I just feel like I'm getting to this point where I have a very short attention span, and I don't think it's the marijuana. I don't think it's THC. I do think it's my phone, because I find myself putting my phone down for a reason. I'm like, bitch, get the fuck off the phone. And then 2 minutes go by, and I'm all of a sudden looking for it. Like, my hands are looking for it. So I'm like, why am I going to spend all this money? And people that spend all that money on these phones just to have them broken and stolen. And yeah, you get insurance, but either way, you're paying for something. I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like this whole phone thing, that's for just... I'm not very bougie. I mean, I'm wearing a goddamn Pickle Rick shirt. I'm not into those kind... I don't know. I want a functional phone that does what I gotta do. That needs it to do... You know what the fuck I mean.
Yes, I do. Just to be able to browse some internet for a bit, watch some videos, and have a decent battery life. That's all I care about. You know what I hate, though? I feel like a lot of these great quality phones have the worst actual call quality. They hype up everything but the call quality. They get worse and worse every year. I'm always like, yo, do you have a blanket over the phone?
Super dab.
I saw you, man. Robin Williams' Genie just came at that joint.
So sorry. Yo. Anywho, yeah, but it's just a lot of phone nonsense. And then I feel like this kind of touches base with what we wanted to get to, because you were dying to talk about Toys R Us. R.I.P. R.I.P. everyone. Toys R Us.
Toys R Us is going bankrupt.
I knew I was going to see it in my lifetime. I knew I was going to see it in my lifetime a long time.
Me too. But okay, here's the thing. All right, let's get into this. Let's dig right in. It was obvious this was going to happen, right? Right?
Yeah.
As obvious as Macy's going out of business, right?
Even with Walmart, Macy's ain't nothing but another Burdines, bro. Tell me no. Macy's ain't nothing but a Burdines. We're going down the chain. Why? Because these things are becoming obsolete.
It's too much money, bro.
There is now a conglomerate that is more powerful than any mini mall that's ever existed.
Amazon.
And at this point, teenagers go to the mall because that's where they hang out, and old people go to the mall because that's where they work out. Other than that, what the fuck do you go to the mall? I personally don't go to the mall.
No, I like going to the mall.
What?
You know why? I like that experience. I love going to the mall during Christmas time. I love hearing I love hearing
thrift stores. I love you, baby.
I love
Damn right, bitch.
I love hearing Mariah Carey, "All I Want for Christmas" on the fucking speakers throughout the mall.
Christmas time shopping is different because I like an Annie's pretzels and I like to walk around and shit. But
yes.
Yo, that has to be some life critical goddamn shit. Like that has to be. I'm at the mall for like life essentials that you just can't get at a thrift. If I'm gonna go get some Vans sneakers because I want to be bougie once every 7 years, I have to go to the mall. You know what I mean?
But Vans are nicely priced. Okay, it's like $40, right? $50.
Nah,
they're not that bad.
But $60-$80 for men, but it's decent.
Yeah, I'm probably using 10-year ago prices. Right
Either way, but this is not the case in Toys R Us. Toys R Us is pushing one thing. You're pushing toys. Every single toy that is in your store can be found on the internet and or Walmart for cheaper.
Agreed.
This is a fact. So you're just in a store where you're just selling the experience. Because what did you go to Toys R Us for? I used to haul ass to the all pink aisle because that was all Barbie, bitch. That was everything that Barbie shot out of her Barbie asshole. It was Barbie mansion, Barbie kitchen, Barbie Ken, Barbie Teresa, the black Barbie, the Barbie everything, the Barbie life. That was the pink aisle.
The pink aisle. Boys like me. I ran straight to the wrestling toys and action figures.
Yeah.
That's where I went. I would go straight to the wrestling toys. I was like, oh my god, it's Stone Cold, it's The Rock, it's everybody. Oh my god. I was like, oh, they got the cage, they got the fucking entrance, they got everything. You know, and I would go to the action figures, all the cool stuff, like the Spider-Man toys and the Batman toys, the DC stuff, all the rad stuff that you can Pokemon cards. I used to get my Pokemon cards from Toys R Us.
The blue aisle, I'm sorry.
Believe that.
I always peep game at those little fucking at the cars. What are the cars? What are the cars called?
RC cars? The remote control cars?
Cars, little Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels.
Oh, Hot Wheels, man.
Straight, just blue as fuck.
I used to have wrestling Hot Wheels. Blend those worlds together. Yeah, I did. They were Hot Wheels cars based. They were Hot Wheels cars based on the wrestlers, so they would have like Sting on the front. You know what? Megan in the chat mentioned thrift stores. This beautiful Bowser right here. I actually got it at a thrift store for $4. I went home and Amazoned it, $45, brand new.
Megan and every other creature that's in this thing that we do. Thrifting is now the millennial go-to. Because I know that everybody's like, oh, it's because the millennials don't go to Toys R Us. Bitch, shut the fuck up. I did my time at Toys R Us. I used to run all the way to the back. Run all the way to the back and play in the little houses and play in the castles and play in like the backyard. Like, you know what I mean?
Of course, man. That was like
they always had those plastic like cabins and kitchens and everything. They used to just go in and play in. Dude, I used to be a kid and just run in and out of those shits. That used to be the number one thing you did at Toys R Us. Lie to me in my face.
You know what? I got a cool story about Toys R Us really quick now that we're here. And you know what? Everybody in the chat, can you guys go ahead and drop some cool Toys R Us memories? What did you guys buy from Toys R Us?
Yes.
Where was the first place you go?
What was your favorite thing to do in Toys R Us?
What was the best toy that was given to you, bought, whatever, from Toys R Us that you guys got throughout your lives? Because I know it had to be something. It had to be one thing at least.
I only got to pick my toy like twice on two separate
Oh
occasions.
man,
I
what'd you
always went
pick?
there for someone else's shit.
Oh damn it, the good shit, right? Yeah.
I
Who?
always went for the Barbies. Chill. I was Barbied out. I had all my bitches on
What's
me.
the best Barbie you had,
Chill.
or your favorite?
My mom still to this day buys us the holiday memorial like Barbie where she's like all swagged out in a big ass dress. They're like 100 bones.
I did see a
$100
millennial.
Barbie.
I did see
I
a
bought
Millennium
all the
Barbie.
way.
I was at a thrift store.
99. I got all them bitches.
I was at a thrift store and I did see a Millennium Barbie, the year 2000.
Dude, I have all of those. I got all those hoes. I got all those hoes.
That's tight.
Yeah.
I think the coolest thing that I ever got from Toys R Us was my PlayStation 2, actually. And it was really radical. That day was actually really cool. It was 2002, for anybody that wants to take a flashback time right now. It was 2002. It was Christmas. I was there with my dad. And we were at the store, and he was actually going to buy me. I asked him for a PlayStation 1. And this is when the PS2 already came out.
I loved PlayStation 1. What do you mean? Those were the swankiest games, dude. They're
They were
the
radical.
funnest.
They were radical. They were cool. You know, so I wanted a PS1 because I was like, you know what, the PS2 just came out. It's expensive. I knew my family's money situation. I wasn't going to ask them for that. So I was like, let me just get a PS1. I'll be cool. I'll get some new games. It'll be all right. Games will be cheaper then too, right? And then we're in line. We're in line. And I got the PS1 in my hands, and my dad's looking up at the... He's looking around the store, and he's looking up at this thing that says PS2, and he's like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, that's the new one that just came out. And he's like, yeah? I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool. And he's like, what's so different about it? I was like, well, this one you can play CDs, which you could do in PS1. I was like, you can play CDs and you can play DVDs, which was the new thing. I was like, you can play DVDs
Yeah,
on it.
that's all you could do different on a PlayStation 2. Let's get it.
DVDs.
Let's get it right.
So eventually he was like, damn, like, that's actually kind of cool. He's like, so I don't have to buy you a stereo or a DVD player, you know, if you get that thing. And I was like, basically. He's like, you want to just get that? I was like, what the fuck do you mean? I was like, of course I want to get that. Of course I would take a PS2 over a PS1 any day, especially as a 12-year-old. And my dad hooked it up with a PS2 for that Christmas, and it was an amazing, amazing time. So, you know, little story about my favorite.
You got to pick it out. You got to pick out your PlayStation.
Yeah, man. Oh, what's up, Papa? You know, and then eventually, yeah, PS2. Great memories made with that thing. So, what about you, Jenny? I mean, I know you said your Barbies, but what would you get there?
Those are the solid ones. Like I'm gonna miss running down the hot pink aisle, and then I'm gonna miss running towards the back and playing in all the backyard furniture for kids. But they always had like obviously the models inside. I was little as shit. I could fit in every corner and crack that I wanted to. What do you mean? I was out of in those bitches. Test drove all of them. Never got to take any of them home.
Oh man. Let's see. Let's check out the chat really quick. I've been neglecting the chat. T-Brad says, absolutely obvious this was going to happen. Can't keep up with online retailers. Yes, definitely with Amazon. How could you? Yeah. Megan says, I bought my future son... What? Oh, I bought my future son some brand new baby clothes. Still with... what is it? Still with the capitalism?
You nerd.
No. I my chat thing was messing up. Hold up. Give me a second. Let me get back to it.
Read it up.
Hold up. What is it? Still with the capitalism? Rewind.
I bought my future son some brand new baby clothes.
Go ahead, Jen.
I bought my future son some brand new baby clothes, and still with the capitalism bullshit brand tag on them, and my mom had like a fucking heart attack. I don't care if it's because of Miami bougie mentality of her, because being Hispanic and ignorant, I can't tell. I don't know if that's agreeing or being against bourgeois. But I don't know. I'm not with the bouge. If you can, I feel like Toys R Us was an experience. That's what you were going to Toys R Us for. And if parents nowadays feel like it's obsolete, that they don't have to take their kids there, that they can take them to do other things and pay for toys cheaper, or even get them toys, because I feel like now it's one or the other. You either give your kid a tablet or something, or you are those like hipster kind of parents, and they just like nature them up, and you're reading and you're intellectual and you're all this shit. So I don't know. I feel like it's come down to those two.
Well, shout out to Megan for saying Tamagotchi. She got a Tamagotchi from Toys R Us.
Oh my god!
I used to have a Mortal Kombat Tamagotchi. Real shit, and I wish I was making it up. Look it up if you want to check the facts. Look it up. I think it was by Tiger. Tiger made it, I believe, and it was a Mortal Kombat like Tamagotchi thing, really badass. And I remember one of the fatalities, they would like it was Shao Kahn. He would hit you on the head, put you in the ground so where your head would stick out, and then he would kick your head like a football out and get a field goal out of it. So it's pretty radical. On a Tamagotchi type of shit. So it was next level. T. Brad says favorite thing about the Toys R Us near my house was in Michigan was being able to drive around in all Power Wheels. Power Wheels.
Yeah,
Power Wheels.
You get to test drive all that shit, dude. You used to get the bikes. You used to
man.
skateboards. You used to take the cars. It didn't matter what the fuck you were getting. You test drove.
Shut up, Brad. Brad got his Super Nintendo from Toys R Us.
He's an elder. He's an elder. He's older than that.
But that's tight. That's tight.
He is amazing. Gel.
That's so good though. That's awesome. I got my Super Nintendo. I got my Super Nintendo right behind me, and I got that from a place called Incredible Universe, which is an amazing title for a place. Yeah. Can you imagine naming something Incredible Universe? I thought it was the coolest name for a store. It was so rad. And you know what's cool? I was there. This is a little side story. I was 5, 6 years old. My dad was like, "Hey, pick one." Big mountain of Sega Genesis, and then a big mountain of Super Nintendo. And he's like, "Pick one." And I was like, "I take the Super Nintendo." And he's like, "All right, get a few games now." And then I got a few games, and it was a good time. So, yeah. Yeah, my dad was cool.
Toy Stores, period. Like, they're the fucking shit. Like, why wouldn't you want to go to a toy store and be that age? And people say, oh, it's because people don't buy their kids toys anymore. That's not true. I feel like the kids that I know get toys, but they get, I know that I make it a point to that when I buy a child a toy, I want it to stimulate their mind. So I usually get like puzzles and shit. I like to give kids puzzles. I like to make them think, or different kinds of puzzles, not necessarily like a put together little paper
like a jigsaw
puzzle. No, not necessarily a jigsaw puzzle. I forget what that's called. But buy them things that they have to build, and
Oh, like Legos.
Yeah.
That is essentially a puzzle.
No. Legos just gets everywhere. There's other fucking puzzles, people.
Mega Blocks for the ones whose feet are hurting.
No, not even Mega Blocks. That's toddler shit. I'm just saying. You have to get your kid a set of Legos so that they appreciate them and cherish them.
You know what I used to do? I actually used to build a bunch of... I used to build a bunch of Legos, and I used to build a bunch of Mega Blocks, and I used to actually use them as cities for my superhero toys, and then have them crashing around buildings and stuff.
My brother will vouch for this. We used to build hella Lego shit. The coolest Lego shit. We were engineers. We were engineers as children. I don't know what happened.
Architects. Young architects. That's amazing.
I swear.
You know, actually, for anybody, all the adults that still want to, hang out with their inner child, they do have Lego architecture, I think it's called, and it's actually like the White House and the Eiffel Tower and stuff in Lego form.
Lego Land. Yeah, Lego Land. They have all that fancy swanky shit.
You can get it at Barnes & Noble too. Barnes & Noble sells those also. You know what though? Let's talk about Amazon.com for a second, because that is clearly Toys R Us's biggest competitor, right? Probably the reason why they're going bankrupt. Here, you know what? Actually, okay, let's reel it back for a second. A big reason why Toys R Us is out of business right now, or going out of business, is because who plays with toys anymore? As far as kids go, you know who the biggest babysitter is right now? Netflix and the iPad. Those are the biggest babysitters right now.
That mean,
game apps.
Mindless tippy tappa.
Yeah, like the stuff that they used to make us play on the Mac computers back when we were like in first grade, right? It's like those kind of games, but an app for them now, right? Counting cookies and shit like that. But that's what it is though. Like the iPhone has become the world's biggest babysitter, right? People are saving money on babysitters because they're paying $10 a month for Netflix, and they're putting fucking who knows what on there, right? Winnie the Pooh. I don't know. It's
Watch, they just feed it. They just feed these devices. They're just like, here, it keeps you quiet. But I just feel like it just makes you detached. It just makes you very detached.
I mean, it's nothing crazier than going to a party or a social gathering or even just a bar, looking around the room and seeing how many heads are at a diagonal angle looking at their phone rather than out and looking at people or whatever. And I get it.
Right.
it's become a nervous habit for people. If you notice, if you look at a line, like if you're at the post office or FedEx or whatever, right? And obviously those lines take a while. Look at the line and just see people's hands twitch and get nervous and reach for their phone, and they'll take it out. And not that not that you should be looking at somebody else's phone.
They're there in a group of people. I mean, I do see it. I have seen it, and I have been a part of it. Or it's just people talking in conversation, but it doesn't happen very often. And if you look around you, the majority of people are in groups of people, but on their phones.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I can't knock people. Listen, we're not, me and Jenny and Brad and everybody, we're not trying to knock people for getting with the times.
No, dude, at all. If you could afford to do it and you want that phone and you love that phone and you love everything it is and what it offers, do it. Respect. Cool.
But that's $1,000 though, right? Exactly.
That's wild. I love tattoos. You know what $1,000 is? I love to go places. You know what $1,000 is? I like to do things. And survive and pay bills and do a lot of other things with $1,000. And if I really don't prioritize having a phone, then.
And I like guitars. That's like 5 guitars for me.
What? Exactly. So.
With the amount of deals I look for.
I'm not an iPhone hater. I love my little iPhone. I'm addicted to it. I don't get the shit out of my face. It's always in my face. It's always in my goddamn hands. But I'm trying for it not to be.
And you know what? I mean, I don't know if you noticed or anybody in the chat noticed, but I tried to blend the topics there because you know what? The reason why Toys R Us is going out of business is because of stuff just like the iPhone that decided to take over for the kids, and that's kind of what the kids are on now. That's the new toy.
Yeah, they're all electrical and all these they're just all on a screen. Everybody's on a screen now.
Yeah, it's a digital world we live in, right? Eventually, I feel like with kids, they're gonna give them like these AR, alternate reality type of games.
Just
disconnected, right?
Disconnected from
like the Matrix, though, right?
Everyone's gonna be super disconnected. And everything's so desensitized now that eventually when it's just going to be like a screen in front of you, I don't know.
And you know what?
Now I'm just getting wild.
And you know what? I'm not trying to be Mr. Tinfoil Hat conspiracy guy, but I mean, think about.
I don't know, much of it.
Think about The Matrix. We've all seen the movie, right? At least one of them, right?
Wonderful film.
The Matrix, okay? And let's forget about the storyline, forget about all that bullshit, right? Think about just what The Matrix is. They plug these people in, right? You live in this regular reality with ripped up clothes and shit, right? Oh no, regular reality, right? Then you get plugged into this place where everything is, it's kind of like their body is still, right? In the Matrix, the body is Keanu Reeves, his body is still, but when they plug him into the Matrix, he is Neo. He is this guy that can do so much. He is this alternate reality. He's this digital world. And us, when we're on our phones, right? When you're chilling at somewhere and you're right here, guess what? Our bodies are still. And we are standing still. We're not doing anything. We're still. But our minds and our world, it's all inside of this. We live in the Matrix, folks. And I'm not trying to make it sound goofy, but it's really what it is. It's funny.
I feel like there are some people that are more plugged in than others. And I know a very large chunk of people that aren't so deep into the social media and the stuff, like that kind of stuff. Keeping up with the know-how. I know a very, very large, and they're happy as fuck. I don't know. It's just weird. I guess it comes down to the person, like whether you want to put down the guap and invest in this thing.
Do you think it helps people's social anxiety at all? Anybody in the chat? No. Yeah, no. I mean, because some people would argue, like, well, listen, man, if people are able to communicate this way, then what's the big deal, man? But I'm like, you know what? A lot of people claim to have social anxiety, but I feel like being on the phone doesn't necessarily, like, you may be able to communicate with people, but that doesn't help you in your reality. Like, in reality, when you see these people in person, you'll probably still just look at the ground and kick rocks, right?
I don't know. I feel it just, the way that people talk to each other on social media, it's different than I guess people would in real life, for sure.
I've just met so many people that are different online than who they are in person, and it's crazy.
If that helps their social anxiety, dale, but I think that the only thing that's going to help you is actually getting out there.
I just think it helps in the short term, not in the long term.
Unplug. I guess that's a little life advice. Just unplug.
Unplug a little bit, right? I mean, I try to, and I was telling Jenny earlier, when I get a chance to, when I'm hanging out with my friends and everything like that, I take my phone and I throw it on my bed. I put it away from me so that I'm not constantly looking.
Yeah.
I can't.
I don't know. I just don't like how I find myself like reaching for it or thinking about it when I'm not doing anything. It's kind of like, bitch, you used to do so much other, like, I used to do so many other things. I used to be very crafty. I used to love to do my nails and I used to do them well. I used to do straight up manis and shit and I used to come out perfect and I used to take my time and it was gorgeous. And then I used to paint and draw and do all these crafty things and make frames and little adornos so like decorate my
Oh, that's
room.
cool.
And I used to love to do all these things. And now I don't do shit. Now I get home and I feel like I either glue myself to a movie on the TV or I'm on my phone just scrolling infinitely over things I've already seen a billion times. And then my whole day just kind of wastes by and it's time to go to bed.
But you know what? You bring up a really good point, and this is something I tell people all the time. You know, if you work 8 hours, right, like most full-time employees do, and if you sleep 8 hours, like most human beings should do,
Yeah, like I gotta work and I'm yawning and shit. I'm so sorry, people. Oh gosh, I've like yawned like 8 times.
you're fine. No, that's fine. That's fine. Shut up. Let's talk. Sometimes it be like that. You know, if you work and you sleep 8 hours, that's 16 hours. You have 8 hours left. Okay. And you know what? And if
I
you're
count down my hours.
yeah, dude. And if you're driving home and that takes you a long time, if you're doing laundry, if you're doing things that you just have to get done, you have to run errands, you probably got 4 hours a day, 4 or 5 hours a day that for yourself.
Sleep, you know, or just like to just exist, to just for a second.
Yeah, you got 4 or 5 hours. What are you gonna do in those 4 or 5 hours? And that's what I tell people all the time. What can you do? And you know what? If I wish I could watch a bunch of movies. I wish I could binge watch TV shows. But if I did that, you know what? My guitars would be getting dusty. I can't do it, dude.
Don't get dusty. That's so true. You have a lot of guitars, so you gotta like keep each one fresh.
Got to keep playing them. Get those strings not corroded. You know, and that's the whole thing. It's like a lot of people ask me, like, "Damn, dude, like, how'd you play guitar? How'd you write the song? How'd you make time for all that?" I said, "I made time for all that." You know, like, how did I make time? No, I just did. I just made the time. Because when other people are out chilling at the bar on Fridays, guess what? Guess who's not there? Me. Why? Because I'm practicing at home, and it's not like I'm bragging. I mean, I'm not bragging, but it takes time, dude. Like a lot of people just want results, but they don't think about the process. You know, they want to eat good food, but not wonder how it gets made.
You should.
Things take time, though. Things take time, and you know what? Because the thing is, Jenny, you talked about decorating, and you know your nails, and you used to do art. Those things, that's craft, you know, and as an artist, you know, somebody likes to create. I hate calling myself an artist. Somebody likes to create.
No, because that's what it is. You're a creative person. You have a creative outlet.
Right.
You choose to channel your time towards creative things that make you feel good, and you make pretty things that are aesthetic or that feel good, you know? There's something about art, and art is music. Art is, I don't know. There's just something I feel like there's something that this is killing. Like there's just something that this is just like stomping on. I don't know. And it's just like,
you know, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that have counter arguments, and they're always like, "Well, you know what? Think about how many artists are getting a chance now where they would never get a chance before." And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess so."
Social media and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, kudos. But
right, like I get it, but at the same time, how connected are we to these things? Like, you know, with the same amount of stuff that we used to love back in the day, we might be over it in a week now because we'll bump into something else. You know, it's constantly but you know what? I don't know. It's a good and a bad thing. It's really a double-edged sword because yes, we run through content like crazy, but it makes the content creator step up their game and think, damn, I gotta make sure I make something so different, so unique, so good that all these people with short attention spans might even be able to keep up with it. So, you know, it's a double-edged sword. So, you know, there's a good and a bad to everything, and I get that. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for hanging out tonight, by the way. It feels so good to be back and doing the show. God, it's been about a month, right? I got myself a beautiful kitten. He's sleeping right now.
Oh, Legato. What is it?
Legato is his name.
Legato.
He is a beautiful little boy. He's been sleeping the whole time, actually, so shout out to him, because I'm surprised he could sleep through my obnoxious voice. But he's doing it, though. He's doing it. And he's super cute. I want to bring him up on the camera, but he's so tired. I refuse to move him. No. Although I'm gonna regret it though, because you know what? He's been sleeping all night, or all day rather. So at night he's gonna be waking me up at 3, 6, 9 in the morning. 3, 6, 9. Damn you, fine. He's gonna be waking me up in the morning.
My doggy is sleeping. I adopted a doggy, and he's good. He's so sweet.
You got yourself a dog too, man. What's his
I
name?
did. Hugo.
Hugo. Oh man, what kind of
He's
dog is he?
not like a. He looks like a black mouse cur.
Oh, I've never heard of that. That's awesome.
Look that up. Very common mutt-looking dog, but he is a bit. I don't know. Small. He's a small breed. He's amazing.
You
I
know,
got him a kennel, and he's amazing because before he was just an anxious, poor little bastard.
so he feels safe in the kennel. He just kind of chills in there and does his thing.
Yeah, dude. Number one, I pimped that shit out, so it's covered head to toe, and it looks nice. It's swanky, and he has a nice little fluffy inside, and he's knocked the fuck
Aw.
out.
So you were telling me he's kind of like a nervous dog, right? Do you have any first-time pet owners in the house tonight, or any pet owners in general? Feel free to chime in
No.
if anybody
Yeah.
has any advice. If anybody has any advice for dogs and cats, please drop that in. My little boy, I don't know how old he is. I believe he acts like he's about 5 or 6 weeks.
I'm new.
Yeah, my guy is super tiny and little, so he's a good one though. He, you know what's funny about my guy is that
I'm new.
the cool thing about Legato is that he has never pissed on anything. He's never pissed on the blankets, never pissed on his own
Cats
bed.
are very good with that weird shit. I don't know. They just instinctively go.
Whoops, sorry, I just pulled on the microphone. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, you know what? Sorry, you know what? The chat just updated, and I hadn't even checked because I didn't see any of these messages. There were so many messages coming in. Let's back it up. Alfie says you need to get on that Jim Carrey type of woke. Hey, true that, right? Jim Carrey grew his beard out, went out into the forest, and just lived life for a bit, didn't he?
Well, he played a certain role recently that for whatever reason he inspired him to take a lot of shrooms.
Method acting. Method acting, they call it, right?
He took a lot of shrooms, and he kind of got lost in the sauce. And that interview he did recently, I think, is all the shrooms accompanied by his girlfriend's suicide. So there's a lot going on for Mr. Carey's. He is an angel in my eyes, but we'll see.
Yeah, true. Stefan in the chat says, although I will admit that I'm heavily into my tech nowadays, playing outside and interacting with other kids played a huge role in the person I am today.
Yeah, getting out there. And the irony, Alizar, is that we are on the internet and we're streaming and sharing our shit. So that's where the irony lies. But I feel like that's what I want to limit it to. I kind of do this as a talk, as a therapy. I want people to relate. I want people to know that there's other people that kind of
exactly same here
the way that they do. So
yeah, this is our little comfort zone in the Matrix.
And yeah,
you know,
yes,
this is our little box in the Matrix. So knock on the door, and we will let you in to Shut Up, Let's Talk, and we can hang out all you want. We got comfortable couches. There's guitars back here. There's great stuff. All right. So that is what Shut Up, Let's Talk is to me. Is a room within the Matrix where everybody can step out and be like, "What the fuck is going on out there?" You know.
Touche, sir. Touche.
So T. Brad says the phone is the cause of social anxiety. What you guys think about that? What you guys think about that?
A little.
I can agree with that to an extent. Yeah, I can definitely agree with that.
You think it fed already into what is already... I feel like it fed into what's already a difficult situation. But I feel like people were kind of more genuine about it back in the day when there wasn't a phone and there wasn't such an easy, accessible way to reach people. It was more genuine to meet people. So, like, you kind of wanted to get to know them more and get their number and, oh, here. And then, like, another person answered that person's phone call. Hey, can I talk to this person? I don't know. There's a little bit... I don't know.
It was fun. It was more fun.
Like,
it was more fun for me.
Yeah, it was different. It was more genuine. Meeting people was more genuine. Like
do you remember calling? Do you remember calling somebody's phone and thinking somebody else might pick up? Like that's just such a crazy thought.
I used to call someone's house and be like, "Oh, is this person there?"
Can I talk to blah blah blah, please? Like, you guys remember that? Do you guys remember that? Do you guys remember that distinct feeling when somebody else would pick up the other line and you'd be like, and you just shut right up? You remember that? Try to stop the moaning. We're not gonna go there. But do you remember? Do you remember? Do you remember the time T-Brad says, I love tech and I love my phone, but I do my absolute best to be on my phone as little as possible. Not a bad way to go about it, dude.
Is that more irony, isn't it?
It is. Christy
It is.
says, Christy, good friend, great musician, says it goes along with instant gratification, social media, and handheld technology has induced into society. People have lost patience, the type required to
Yes.
improve creative and expressive process. Yes.
And to
Thank
get
you.
to know people. Yeah, dude.
I agree. And you know what's funny? The age that in which I learned the most guitar, from like 13 to 17 or 13 to 16, whatever. Those few years that I learned the most amount of guitar I had no internet. Like those, I had internet. I had internet so slow I couldn't watch YouTube videos. So all I would look up is how to play guitar stuff, and I would look up like guitar music and learn guitar, and that's all I did was just play guitar. So to a certain extent, I
When
completely
the
agree.
internet's slow, you get shit done.
Yeah, it's true. When you know what? When we had a hurricane recently last week, right? Power was out for a few days, and me and my mom hung out more than ever, which I was really happy about.
That's
And
dope.
yeah, and so we hung out, and we were just hanging. There's no power, there's no nothing. It's hot, right? That you're trying to let the breeze in. I just grabbed my acoustic guitar, and we're just hanging out. And me and my mom were hanging out, and I'm playing guitar. She's having a nice drink of scotch, and we're just hanging out talking. And she was just kind of like, yeah, man. She's like, you play really good, dude. It was just really funny. Yeah, well, because
She doesn't really get to. She never gets to sit in. I'm pretty sure she hears you.
she does.
But
She
she's
does.
never gotten to sit in.
No, throughout my entire life, she's always been super supportive. Anytime she hears me play something super dope, she'll always come in the room and be like, "That sounds amazing." So that's always kept me.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's always kept, because my mom loves music. This ear piercing. I have an ear piercing. It was actually my mom's idea.
Because your mom was a bad bitch, and everybody that knows Alazar's mom is that she's a fucking queen. She's beautiful, and she birthed a legend.
Literally
And
the best.
then-
She's
oh,
literally the best.
She is a beautiful, 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 beautiful woman.
And it was
And
just
then,
her birthday.
It's not physical. It's not even physical. It's just her. Her mother has a beautiful soul.
Her name is Flora, which is like which means flower.
Yes, of course.
It's such a beautiful name. I love it. She's the best thing in the world. And it was her birthday this past weekend, so I will take all the happy birthdays from you guys, yeah, and transfer
Yes,
them over to her.
of
Uh,
Yeah.
And she's great. And you know what? It was great though. My point in that whole thing was that we were just hanging out playing acoustic guitar, and we were just kind of unplugged from everything, and it just felt good. And you know what? My point is, I wrote probably one of the best songs I've ever written during that hurricane, because I just had time to sit and just do, and that was it. And it was a good time. So that song's coming soon.
That's what that's what it takes. Not just for you. I'm pretty sure a lot of people felt that way. They got to do a lot of things that they haven't done in a while, but it shouldn't have to be that way. You do have time every day. Those 4 hours that you say that we got,
Oh, I
that
think my
we're
little-
working and we're running errands, and then we're trying to get home, and we're trying to go to the gym, and we're trying to squeeze all these things in right before we go to bed and have to do it all over again.
Exactly. Oh, look who's awake. Little buddy,
Oh.
little buddy's awake.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, never mind. He just looked at me with his eyes half open, started stretching, and then rolled into another position and is back asleep now. This
I'll
little
let him
clown,
sleep.
bro.
He's
Well,
trying
I love
to
this
get
guy.
the juju. Yeah, he's trying to get the juju.
He probably is the coolest guy I've ever met. He's super cool, super nice. This morning he bit my nose, which kind of annoyed me. So I had to yank him.
Cat teeth are a bit needle-like, but you'll get used to it. He's your baby.
Well, the thing was, he only bit my nose because I had my sheets all the way up to my neck. So I didn't have anything sticking out. Normally he just taps my arm or something to wake me up because he's hungry. So he had nothing to do. So he didn't know what to do. So he just gave me a little nibble on the nose. I was like, what the
Nibble on the nose. Kitten teeth, nibble on the nose is just like vampire, okay? Don't even
Yeah,
front.
yeah. Well, luckily he's really young, so he's just getting his teeth in, so it's not as worse as it's gonna be in like a month. Like in a month,
Yeah,
oh
he'll be a
man,
biter
I'm not
the
looking
rest
forward
of
to
your
it.
life.
Yeah,
He's a boy.
he's
Just
a boy.
find out what age you want to just snip. I don't know if you're.
Oh,
snip,
it's
snip,
ASAP. It's ASAP. He is getting neutered. Oh, I feel
I
bad.
want a docile kid.
It was so funny because one time I was talking about it and he was just looking straight at me. Like I was talking about it, like I had him on my lap and then I was just talking. I wasn't looking at him, and I looked down at him and he's just looking at me like, "You're not gonna do that to me, are you, Dad?"
We're talking about my balls.
Yeah. You know what? I will say one thing though. I think that he might have an extra chromosome. I
Do
think
you?
because the thing is, you know what? He is a calico. He's a calico cat, and he's a male. That's I didn't know this. I realized it later when somebody told me. That's extremely rare. Apparently, only like 1 in 3,000 calicos are male. So the thing is, and for them to be male, there's usually some sort of like extra chromosome involved. So he might be sterile himself already. So I don't know
I
what's going
just,
on right now.
yeah. I just hope he's not a Grumposaurus Rex because I know that boy cats like to piss in your shoes.
They're territorial. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's only pissing in his litter box for now. So he seems like he's going to be a good one.
Right.
He just the other day, it was the coolest thing in the world. He ate his food. He knows where his bowl is now. He's on the bowl. He went to his bowl by himself. He played for a bit, and then he walked all the way over to his litter box by himself. Did his little thing, covered it up, jumped right out, back onto his day. So he's already got the basics down. Like he's got it. And
He's gonna get it.
if he does decide to wake up, I will have to exploit him and put him on camera. But he is amazing.
Let him get his strength. He's gonna be a run.
Oh, he is. He is. Oh, he's already. See, like he's getting lazy, but I'm looking at him right now. See, he's moving around. But he just keeps going back to bed. He loves my damn blanket. He always gets out of his bed to jump on the bed and get in my blanket. I woke up with him neck on my side today. Freaking
Don't
cutie, bro.
crush him in your sleep. Be careful.
Oh my god, you know what's funny? I'm not trying to go on a whole thing about my cat, but you know what's funny? Sometimes he sleeps on my chest. Sometimes, right? And sometimes I have nightmares and I scare him, and sometimes he has nightmares and he scares me. It's ridiculous. Like he's slept on my chest, and sometimes he'll have a nightmare and be like meow, and, and he'll just twitch, and he'll get like really weird for a second, and I'll be like, oh shit. He did
Oh
that
my
one
god,
night.
my cat's having a nightmare. Oh my god.
He really was, and it was like he was like fast asleep and just made a little quick little like weird movement, and then one day he was sleeping on my chest again, and I had a nightmare, and I got up and freaked out, and he was like, and he did the same thing, got scared. It was pretty funny. Good guy, good guy. Anybody that's met him, it's hard not to love him. His name is legato, which is a musical term for playing something smoothly, but it also kind of means the cat.
I mean, it's the cat.
So it worked out well for him. Jenny, how are you? How's your life? You doing all right?
Oh my god, dude, I'm wasted.
I know we're closing in on the hour. It's been an amazing
Oh my
episode
God.
so far. It's been a good episode. I've had a good time. What you been drinking tonight, Jenny?
Jen.
That Jenny Weasley.
Jen is drinking gin.
Sipping on that Weasley.
Yes, bitch, yes.
I love it. Oh man, you know what? Let's close it up fairly soon. So you know what? Let's wrap it up. So iPhone X, iPhone 10. For anybody that is thinking about purchasing it, you can do that if you like. If you want to spend $1,000 on the phone, go ahead.
If you can do it, what do you mean?
Exactly,
Of course, power
right?
to you. God bless you.
And your selfies are gonna look killer.
Yeah, but don't throw away a good thing if. That's what I'm saying.
Sorry, you
I
cut
don't
out
know.
for a second. Say, don't throw away a good what?
Don't throw away a good thing if you got it. I believe that I have a good phone and I don't have to give it up or upgrade it until it literally dies and stops working. And I feel like there's no need. There's people that kind of almost live for a need, and there's people that I used to know that are like that, and they're not really like that anymore. But there's still people in that life that they're just like, I have to have it. This
Yes.
kind of I have to have it mentality.
I completely agree. It is pretty addicting. I'm not gonna lie. And you know what? Phones, they do make things easier for us. They make communication easy, which a lot of people. And I'm not trying to put anybody down at all, but a lot of people want to be wanted. And having a smartphone when you have when you have texts coming in or likes coming in on Facebook, and they seem like very stupid little things, but for some people they mean a lot for their day. So let's just try to understand how these people feel for a little bit. And you know what? It's a good time, man. Oh, it is what it is. Use it for good, not evil. I guess it's the best thing I could say. Let's not give up on the passion for life. Let's not give up on the passion for the outside world, for the passion for a hobby. I see less and less hobbies every single day. People do less and less. And
Unplug.
yeah, and I'm not anybody's mom and dad. What the fuck? But I want more people to play guitar so I could have people that I can talk to about that kind of stuff, and I want more people that paint and do other rad things, make videos like this, so that we can all hang out and do a thing together. But and Toys R Us, let's close up Toys R Us. You know what? Yeah, we get it. Amazon killed it. We get it. But the experience is what we're missing. The experience was cool. Going into this big playland where you were, like I said earlier, where you just kind of felt like you walked into every commercial you saw in between cartoons.
Magic. It was magic.
It was magic, and it is.
Now the magic is killed for kids, I guess. Whatever. I guess they have their own version of magic nowadays. But that to me was the magic. Toys R Us was an experience. It wasn't a. It is a business and a corporation, and it has to survive. But it was just an experience. And until they start charging at the door like a goddamn theme park, what the fuck are you gonna do?
Wait, who started charging at the door?
I'm saying unless they charge at the door to pay kids to just walk down the aisles, like it just literally felt like a ride to us, you know. So
they're not making any money.
Do that, then it's over, yeah, and then it's over. No, they're gonna go out of business. Nobody does that stuff anymore. All right.
Exactly.
So, all right, living the rest.
And you know, so yeah, you know what? Enjoy the toys while you got them. Order them off Amazon. Have fun.
They're cheaper.
You know,
yeah.
They are cheaper, and they will get to your door quicker than quick, because that's just the way they're going nowadays. But I don't know, guys. What do you guys think about it all? Feel free to comment it. Drop everything. Drop your comments, your interest. Drop all that kind of stuff in the chat. It's been a pleasure hanging out with everybody again after a month. God, I'm sorry we took such a long break. It's been a bunch of crazy stuff. What's up, Brad? How you doing, my brother? Brad is
What up?
Oh, my dick.
Brad is an integral part of Shut Up, Let's Talk family.
He's so IT. He's
creative
IT director. He's bartender.
No. Yeah, bartender for sure.
Bartender for the show.
He is good. Brad does more than what you could imagine. Oh, and Brad has a pixel. Nobody has a pixel. Brad has a pixel.
That's not true.
I don't know anybody that has a pixel besides Brad. Literally.
That's true.
Well, hey.
That's just me, though. That's just me. But that's cool, though, because it's such a dope phone. Nobody has it. What the fuck?
I was trying to be that guy with the one-off phone, you know?
Oh, man. Anyway, guys, it's been an amazing episode, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on episode 32 of Shut Up, Let's Talk. Too bad Legato's been sleeping the whole time, so, you know, we'll save his beautiful face for the next stream. He'll probably be a little bit bigger by then, right? In the meantime, folks, if you guys want to follow me, it's at Alizar Chand. If you guys want to follow the show, it's at Shut Up Let's Talk everywhere. _ Shut Up Let's Talk for Twitter. Jenny, where can they follow you and Brad at? Go ahead, plug yourselves. Plug yourselves.
Oh, me? I thought I was a thing. I thought everybody knew what was going on.
You can find her on all social media at Jenny_0H. Jenny O. You can find me on all social media as T Breezy Smith.
You have to. It's an
SMIF. Smith.
As in Frank.
Oh, Smith
F.
with an F.
With an F. That can throw off a billion people.
A lot of people. It throws everybody off. I don't know why I gotta be so complicated.
Hey, man, you know what? That's what we do. Listen, being cool ain't easy, bro.
Right.
It ain't, bro. Anyway, guys, until next time, folks, love, peace, and all the chicken grease, right? Look both ways before you cross the street. We will catch you on the flip side, folks. Thank you so much again. Peace. Bye.
Bye.